Right, folks. So we often hear this term that the hunting industry is a necessary evil. Well, let's talk a bit more about that and see why that is being said and whether it's true or not. Now, keep in mind, we are talking from a South African point of view. And let me just quickly explain the difference. So if we go to a country like Tanzania, then we have national parks. So that's your national park, and it is unfenced. And then what they do is they, at the edge of the national park, they will put concessions. And the hunting takes place in those concessions. And that's why we get all these controversies with animals, with people being accused of luring animals out of the reserve for hunting. Now, in South Africa, the system works a little different. And how it works in South Africa is we have got our national parks, plenty of them. And those are all national parks and protected areas. And then the hunting normally takes place on private properties. Now, those properties are owned by private owners, and they are normally smaller properties. So when you talk about something like the Kruger National Park, which is 22,000 square kilometers compared to a hunting concession, which is about 500 hectares, which might be 5 square kilometers. So these are all the places where hunting takes place. These are all hunting farms. Now, what's the pros of the system? Is that the animals in the national park is protected, they're fenced, nobody can hunt them, they are fine. How does hunting contribute to conservation? Well, all of these small little farms are left wild and natural to an extent. Now, the reason why we say hunting contributes to conservation is the following. So, all of these farms could be cattle farms, they could be crop farms, they could be sheep farms, but they are not. They are left natural and wild because the owners can earn a living from allowing people to hunt on the property. Now, what's the drawbacks of the system? Well, very simple. If you own one of these farms and you've got buffalo and kudu and all of those things, you typically don't want lions and cheetahs and hyenas and those things around because they're going to eat the animals that other people want to hunt. Okay, so this model is fantastic for the conservation of herbivores and trophy game, but it's not so good for predators and so on. So the reason why it is often said that hunting is a necessary evil is because that is the way the system is set up. Now the problem is, how do you take this land and leave it natural with wildlife on it so that the person that owns that land can still make a living from it? And that is why hunting is considered by most conservationists in South Africa as a necessary evil. Because the alternative is we implement a ban on hunting, and within a couple of months all these farmers are going to say, right, let's get rid of the wildlife and let's start farming cattle because I need my land to produce an income. So, in order to stop trophy hunting, for those who are anti-hunting, in order to stop this practice of trophy hunting, we need to define a system that will allow the small farmer to maintain the natural, to maintain it naturally, but earn money. It's as simple as that. Now, the model that is always suggested is tourism. The problem is that if you go look at all the major lodges and stuff in South Africa and private game reserves and so on, they normally run on an occupancy rate of about 30%. So, i.e., there's not really enough tourism so that all these people can get a share of the tourism pie. So, hit me up in the comments. Is there a system that can be put in place where these farms can be used as protected natural area and make space for the predators, the cheetahs, the lions, the hyenas, the wild dogs and so on, while still being profitable and serving the communities around them and the owners? That is the question. Have a good day, folks.